This is weird. This is weird. This is definitely weird. Hi. Where am I supposed to look?
Where am I supposed to look?
Okay, I'm so dumb.
No shit.
Hello, fellow potatoes of the internet. I am Fabiha Musharrat, and this is my very first ever YouTube video, which should explain the awkwardness. I hope so. But either way, we're still doing this. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Anyways, one fine evening this October, this came up.
I was like, oh my God. That shit caught me off guard.
I know. And needless to say, this was one of the most memorable days of my life, and I couldn't be more grateful because I did not see this coming, quite honestly. And in case you do not know what I'm talking about, I recently got into Seoul National University of South Korea.
Seoul.
I hope you're familiar with it. If you're not, I'll fill you in. Seoul National University, SNU, is one of the flagship universities of South Korea, and it is ranked #1 in its own country, and it holds the position of 9 in Asia, and it holds the world rank of 36 according to QS World Ranking 2022. So yeah, I really did not think I would get in. Hi. Not to be dramatic at all, but I genuinely feel like this is going to be one of the best days of my life. So this is after a month later that SNU published their results, and they sent me this email today. And you know what? Let me just show you this. So this is the email that they sent me from the university, and long story short, I got scholarship from the university. So the details of my scholarship is, it is called SNU Global Talent Scholarship Type 1. I get this scholarship for 4 years from March 31st 2022 to August 31st 2026, and I got full ride scholarship. So it means I do not need to pay during the whole undergrad period of 4 years, which means 8 semesters, and on top of that, I get monthly living stipend of 1 million Korean won, which is equivalent to around $840 and 72,000 BDT, and they are going to give me this amount monthly, 4 years and the 8 semesters. But I have a condition that I have to maintain my GPA at least 2.7 out of 4.3, and there is this other condition that if I leave the country for more than 30 days, then my stipend will be put on hold. So basically, this is the scholarship, and it is so amazing. I yet cannot believe my eyes. So if you take anything from this video, it should be that write your essays properly, 3 of them. And also remember that Korean universities put emphasis on both academic and extracurricular activities, so you have to show them a balance between both of them and show that you can juggle between the two. Yeah, that's about it. Let's continue with the video. Moving on, I posted about this in my socials, and I got a lot of questions regarding the procedures. A lot of you asked me what were my stats and my extracurricular activities and what was the procedure like and all of those. And it was a very lengthy process, and it was not comfortable to explain all of those in DMs and chat, you know. So I decided, why not make a YouTube video about it on the internet and embarrass myself instead. Yeah, that seemed like a better solution. So here I am. So in this video, I will talk about the application procedure firstly, my profile, my awards and scores afterwards, and lastly some of my personal suggestions. If you are familiar with the procedures already, you can fast forward to my profile or my suggestions and advice. I will put the timestamps in the description box. Now, before we get into the juicy details, I have to tell you something. If you are one of those students who is second guessing your whole life at 3 a.m. in the morning and thinking you did not do enough in your high school and sacrifice your joyous life enough to create a more dynamic or strong academic profile to send to high-tier universities, please don't. Please don't be depressed. I got you. I really do. The reason why I am telling you this is because I am one of the classic examples of holy cricket, how did I even manage to get in? Because I do not have those 1 in a billion gold medal award or 1 in a billion Olympiad award international or anything like that. But there had to be something that caught the eye of the admissions office of SNU. So I will just give you my profile and I hope it inspires you and you do not get scared or insecure about that you do not have a good academic profile to send. Now, getting into the video, let me first tell you about the procedure, how I applied and all of those. Now, if you do not know about Korean universities, they are freaking super cool. Like, trust me, they are. Their admission process is actually pretty easier than those of US, Canada and all of those, because the Korean universities have this some sort of admission guide which they post in their websites before the semester starts, before the application portal opens. So, and those application guides are pretty much self-explanatory. You do not even need me to explain those to you. Those are, let me just tell you, those are chef's kisses. Yeah, those are pretty good.
Let me show you where to find the application guide. You go to the website of the university. You hover over this admission section until you find this overview, and underneath this you will get announcements. You click on it and scroll down until you find this application guideline for an international admissions for undergraduate. You click on the attachment part and you'll find the application guide over there. You wait for it to download. Yeah, my internet sucks, but yeah. So once you've downloaded the application guide, you will see that it's all written in Korean, but don't be scared. The translated English one is also attached to the same file. You scroll down till you find the one for international students and you'll find all the details there.
You can just skim through it and you will get the idea of how to apply, when to apply, and what are the documents that you need and all of those. But I will still walk you through the process which will, I guess, help you to apply. And I think I applied in the first week of July. I got 10 days for me to complete the whole application procedure. Let me walk you through the whole document part of the application procedure. There are a few documents that you need to send and you will find all of those in the application guide, but I'll walk you through a summary. Number one, you will need an application form which you will have to fill up during the application time in the website, and it just asks you the basic questions like your name, your parents' name, your nationality and all of those, and that is form number one. Number two is a personal statement and study plan, which are your essays. Now there are 3 essays that I had to write, and you will find all of the essay questions which were my questions during my application time in the application guide. My number one question was, in relation to your academic interests and personal experiences, please describe your motivation for your desired course. You may include information related to your preparation for the course and related academic achievements. So this was basically about your goals and your academics, and all of those essays mostly were limited to 3,000 bytes. And yeah, and number two was please briefly state your academic and extracurricular activities, which was limited to 3000 byte limit as well. And number 3 was, please write about yourself with regard to your characteristics other than your record of academic achievement. This section is provided to illustrate the personal aspects of each applicant. The following contents may be included in this section, though this section is not limited to it, which are experiences which have been influential in your life, or individual perspectives on current issues, or role models, or any figures that you respect. These 3 were the essays that were from my time and my application period. I do not know if they change, but I think they don't. Then you move on to recommendation letters. You have to take 2 recommendation letters, one from your professor or your teacher of your choice, but it has to be from the institution that you're from. And number 2 is a recommendation letter from your counselor. In case your school do not have any specific counselor, you can designate a teacher to be your counselor. You can request him or her to be your counselor and verify your records on the institution's behalf. Number 4 is your language proficiency test, which are your IELTS, your TOEIC or TOEFL, whichever one you choose to give. This is to show that you know either of 2 languages, either it's Korean or English. You can choose either one of them. Now, moving on, the next one is your high school graduation certificate. This is the certificate that you get after you've graduated from your high school. In case you did not get it, in case you're still in grade 12 and you still have your high school graduation certificate pending, you have to send an expected graduation certificate to the university. If you're getting selected afterwards, if you're preliminarily admitted, then you will have to send the original high school graduation certificate afterwards. But if you have it already, send it in. Then the next one are your high school transcripts. Those are the marks or the scores, grades that you get in your high school exams, like the internal exams, like the terms, the midterms and all of those. I sent my scores from grade 9 to 12. And you move to the nationality. You have to prove your nationality, that you're not Korean, your parents are not Korean. If you're going for international admissions part 1, you have to prove it by showing them a scanned document of your passport. It has to be your passport and your parents' passports as well. The next one are your standardized test results. This can be your SAT scores, your IB scores, your AP level scores or A level scores and all of those. I sent only SAT scores, and you can choose whichever scores you have or you choose to send. Next, you have explanatory statement. This is a section provided by the university to let them know if you have any sort of problem regarding any document, or you just want to let them know about any of your specific document, whether why it's missing or why you don't have it right now. Some sort of an explanation. It just lets you communicate with the university through the application. I think it's pretty smart. Next 3 are your optional documents. These are, number 1, your school profile. This is to show which high school you come from, how is your high school like, its background, its ranking in the country, its acceptance rate, and its passing rate of the students, whether it takes AP exams and all of the details. And secondly, this is for the language proficiency test for anything other than Korean or English. For example, you're fluent in French. You can show some sort of certificate to prove that in this section. And thirdly are your supplementary material. This is the part for your certificates, your awards, what other stuff that you did other than your academic life. You can put the scanned documents or scanned certificates of your awards in that section, and they'll verify it afterwards. Yeah. Now that we've talked about what are the documents that you need, let's move on to the part that you've all been waiting for. My profile. I will now show you my profile and what are the stuff that I sent, my stats, my academics and my extracurricular activities which helped me get into the university. Yay! Let's move on. Now you will get 2 slots to talk about your extracurricular activities, one in your essays and one in the 10 slots that you're given in the website while applying. And 10 slots, I firstly mentioned that I was awarded Best Student Award from my high school. Number 2, I mentioned that I got awarded Student of the Year from a national television program out of 2,500 students. Thirdly, I got awarded 5 times in a row to be the Talent of the Year in National Education Week based on language and literature. And number 4, I was one of the finalists in National Science Olympiad based on physics, chemistry and biology, and had won the regional round beforehand. Number 5, I was awarded Best Speaker Award in a national debate championship of my country, and my team had also won that competition. And next, I mentioned that I got awarded Best Delegate Award in a Model United Nations CUMUN arranged in our country. And next, to talk about my volunteer activities, I mentioned that I was also a Girl Guide member and a BNCC member. I was nominated to be the Best Girl Guide in the National Education Week. And also, I mentioned that I was ranked Cadet Corporal in BNCC, and in the last camp that I joined, I won 5 awards, 2 gold medals and 3 silver medals. And to talk about my research and writing skills, I mentioned that I wrote a paper on consumer rights, and I was awarded from the Bangladesh Directorate of National Consumer Rights Protection, DNCRP, back in 2018. And that was a national award as well. And I also mentioned that I was one of the 30 students selected across the country for Junior Climate Championship hosted by the Daily Star, and got the green ticket for the national round. Now, in the number 1 essay where I had to talk about my academic profile, I mentioned that I was awarded Best Student Award from my high school, which was awarded based on both my curricular and extracurricular activities. I also mentioned that I got Student of the Year award from a national television program of our country, and I also mentioned that I passed my high school being in the top 5% of my graduating class. Talk about my leadership skills, I mentioned that I was selected to be the leader twice in both my secondary school and my high school. I was the high school prefect in 2019 before my graduation. I mentioned that I got merit scholarship from the government thrice in my junior, middle and senior classes. In that section, I also mentioned that I got accepted into a public government medical school in my country with an acceptance rate of 1.5% to impress them. I also mentioned that I graduated from my high school with A+ in all subjects and achieved a GPA 5 out of 5 in my high school graduation certificate. For my love for research work, I said that I made a presentation of my city and my vision of my city in an idea generation competition, and my team became the champion across the district. First, let's talk about the scores that I had to send in. I sent my English proficiency test results, my IELTS scores. I had an overall band score of 8, and 8.5 in listening, 7.5 in reading, 6.5 in writing, and an 8.5 in speaking, and an overall band score of 8. And since I did not have any AP scores, I chose to sit for SAT subject tests. I sent in 3 subject test results. Out of 800 in each subject, I got 780 in chemistry, 790 in math level 2, and 740 in physics. Now let's talk about the grades of my school. I had to send my test results from grade 9 to 12. In my grade 9, I had a GPA 5 out of 5 and A+ in all subjects. And in grade 10, I had a GPA 5 out of 5 and A+ in all subjects as well. And in my secondary school graduation exam, I had a GPA 5 out of 5 and a merit scholarship as well. I also mentioned that in my secondary school graduation exam, all my scores above 90%. In my grade 11, I got a 4.58 in my school out of GPA 5. In grade 12, I had a GPA 4.42 out of GPA 5. And in my high school graduation exam, I had a GPA 5 out of 5 and an A+ in all subjects. And now some of my personal advice would be, if you are going to apply to Seoul National University, do it. Like, that's it. That's my advice. Do it. I know the acceptance rate sucks big time. Give it a shot, and remember that Korean universities are very strict regarding their academic results. So make sure you have good grades and good test scores. That should impress them half time, and for the rest half of it, you have to have a good extracurricular profile. It does not mean that you have to be master in 10 different extracurricular activities. Don't be like that. Don't. Be specific in your extracurricular activities. For example, all my extracurricular activities were mostly based on public speaking and debate, MUNs, and the rest half of it were mostly the creative side. For example, writing, research skills, poetry competitions, etc. So be specific in your extracurricular activities. Don't be the jack of all trades. Be specific, and that would show your passion for those activities rather than haphazardly participating in different activities. That does not impress anyone. Now you will get two scopes to talk about your extracurricular activities, and one of them is the 10 slots that you're given in the website, and the others are your essays. You can also mention them in your essays. Since you get only 10 slots in the website for the extracurricular activities, I think you should mention the other ones in the essays if you have them. And in those sections, even if you have more than 10 extracurricular activities, you have to choose wisely and put 10 of them in the website. But if you have less, you can put 3 to 4 or however much you have. It doesn't matter. You do not have to have filled up all the 10 slots. And lastly, write your essays properly. Please do that. I think the essays that I wrote played a role big time in my selection. I wrote them with such dedication and passion, and it took me a lot of days to get them done. And so write your essays properly. If you've watched till the end of the video, thank you. So I think you should just go for it. Yeah. I hope you apply, and I hope this was a helpful video for you all. And since it's my first ever YouTube video, I do hope you forgive my mistakes, and it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you. Bye bye.
And it goes a little something like